In today's video, we take this big beauty and give it a bold makeover. Hello everyone, welcome back. I started this furniture flip by removing the hardware and giving the piece a thorough cleaning with my 50% white distilled vinegar and 50% water mixture. I was so excited to get started on this piece that I forgot to take a detailed before video, but I found this dresser for pretty cheap on Facebook Marketplace and it's dinged up from some moves, so I'm going to give it a nice makeover. This piece has a lot of absolutely beautiful detail, so I do grab my small detail brush to scrub and get all in the nooks and crannies. Now, after a thorough cleaning, a rinse is necessary to remove any remaining dirt and debris and cleaner residue. And then I decide with this piece that I am going to paint it. So before all of you non-painters go crazy, you can't see it on camera very well, so I'm going to show you up close. This piece has nicks and dings and scratches all over it, so those either need to be fixed or painted, and I just think the brown wood isn't giving this piece justice, so I'm going to paint it. I used some 220 grit sandpaper on my Surf Prep sander to scuff sand the surface. For scuff sanding, I'm just trying to make little marks in the current finish to give my primer some grip to hold on to. I also thin out or fan out some of those scratches so you won't be able to see them. And with my Surf Prep sander, I love using these, especially on detailed pieces, because it has the foam abrasive pad so I can get into all the nooks and crannies and give this piece a thorough sanding. After that, I wipe all that sanding powder away with a damp lint-free cloth. Now this is a very large piece, so I go inside and rinse out and use my cloth over and over and go over the piece a couple times to make sure I get all that dust out of the way so I have no adhesion issues when it comes to applying my primer. For primer today, I'm using Krylon's Color Max. This is a gray primer. I use a Rust-Oleum gray as well. I really like the gray primer because I feel like it has better coverage than white, and I'm going with kind of a bold yet more medium to darker color. So gray primer is the color that works best for the transition that I am going to make. I spray 2 coats of the gray primer, allowing it to dry a couple hours in between each coat. You'll see me use this gray primer in the Krylon or Rust-Oleum. What makes a difference is basically what store I'm closest to. Lowe's carries the Krylon, and then Home Depot and Walmart carry the Rust-Oleum. So when I'm out running my errands, I just grab whatever is on my way so I don't have to make an extra trip. I do lightly sand and wipe the dust away, and then it's time to paint. Now I am going bold with my paint color. This is Grasslands by Behr, and I'm trying out their enamel paint. I've never used this before. This is a very large piece and would take me forever to paint this piece by hand, so I am so thankful to have my sprayer. I load the paint into my canister and water it down so I can spray it through my 3M AccuSpray gun. I spray 2 coats of the Grassland green, allowing it to dry a couple hours in between each coat. I decided to go with this super bold green because I am participating in the Makers Challenge, and the theme for this challenge is bold, and boy is this color bold or what. Giving damaged and outdated furniture a new look is what I do here on this channel. So if that is of interest to you, consider subscribing and definitely give this video a like if you would. This dresser is serpentine style, so it has the very curvy drawers, and I just find it easier when I'm spraying to not spray the sides like I do on square drawers. So I hand paint those now just to minimize the amount of overspray that gets on the drawers. After 2 coats of paint, we are definitely boldly green. Next, I grabbed that 400 grit sanding sponge and lightly went over the surface and then wiped the dust away with a shop cloth before I move on to the next step. Sticking with the bold theme, I use Gloss Bear's water-based polyurethane. And I load it up in my 3M AccuSpray gun and I spray 1 coat on the piece and let that set for at least 24 hours. Usually when I apply top coat, I'm almost done, but there is more. This is Zenith Powder Glaze in black, and I'm going to also spray this through my gun to give some more depth and dimension and to highlight all that gorgeous detail on this piece. Plus, adding this black powder glaze on top will kind of tone down that bright green. I have a tutorial on my channel already going into detail of how to powder glaze furniture, so I will put up a link here if you are on your phone or laptop, and I will also have a link in the description for all devices if you want to check out that video and learn more about this process. Short version of how to powder glaze is to spray on 2 coats of the black powder glaze, allowing it to dry a couple hours in between each coat. You will know when it is dry because it turns from black into this very dark gray, but it does turn black again whenever you add your final top coats. After it is thoroughly dry, I let that set for 24 hours at least, and then grab these Miralon pads to knock back that powder glaze. So you let your heart lead you here and decide how much powder glaze to take off or leave on. That is up to the creator. And I just worked my way around the piece, started with the detail and then the drawers, and finally made my way up to the top. I don't know why, but when I do powder glaze, I kind of just I like to leave the top for last and work on making the top match how the body of the piece turned out. A couple little tips here. I would suggest wearing PPE. This does have a lot of VOCs, and you can see that the powder goes everywhere. So wear earplugs, wear face masks, wear goggles. This stuff gets in all of your nooks and crannies, so definitely take a shower after you're done with this part. Now I have knocked off a lot of the powder glaze, but there still is a little coat that is sitting that's not attached, but it's just resting on the piece, because you can see that that powder glaze is flying all in the air and it settles back on your piece. So I take my air hose and blow it out of all the clumped up powder out of the nooks and crannies, and then take a cloth and I wipe very gently just to knock off what's just resting on the surface. Then I come back with that gloss polyurethane and apply 2 coats, allowing it to dry in between each coat. You can see how adding that top coat again really turns that black powder from that gray when it's dry back into that black shade, and it looks gorgeous and just completely highlights all that amazing detail. The last step is to, what to do with the handles. I put some Dawn dish soap in my sink, filled it with some soapy water, and I scrub all the handle pieces thoroughly with an old toothbrush. I rinse them off and then let all the pieces air dry. I have this black semi-gloss spray paint in stock, so I apply a couple coats of spray paint onto both sides of the handles, and then after that I went ahead and put the handles back on this piece, and that is it. This piece is done. Here is a quick reminder of the piece that we started with, and then what it looks like now. This piece is big, it is bold, and it is absolutely beautiful. I just see this piece being the main attraction of someone's entryway or buffet in a dining room or their dresser in their bedroom. It's just absolutely stunning. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do that, and do me a favor, like this video. So should I let the piece be wood, or do you like this moody green buffet that it turned into? That is all I have for you guys today. Until next time.